The Clippers can do whatever the hell they want, but I'm not going to trust them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
So I think going to question 2, my fault, Bina, and my fault, JLo. I have the Suns. I think the
I was just about to go there, so Dave, take it away.
I think the Suns can beat the Bucks. I think Chris Paul's IQ trumps the Bucks' athleticism, and I think Devin Booker's scoring prowess trumps anything that Milwaukee can do. But now, who's going to guard Chris Paul? You're going to put Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday guards Chris Paul. You're looking at 50-point performances back to back from Booker.
Oh! I thought you meant.
Yeah.
No.
It took me 1 second. It took me a split second.
No. The person who Drew is not guarding is going off.
Okay.
Like, bro, imagine Drew guards Chris Paul. Okay, Devin Booker, 40. Drew guards Devin Booker. Devin Booker gets 25, like on a bad shooting percentage, but Chris Paul, 30, 10, and 5.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that is actually realistic.
He's gonna eat the entire series. And my fault. You want Drew Holiday to guard Chris Paul. You want him to guard Chris Paul.
So you want to live and die by Devin Booker?
Like, I would rather Devin Booker outscore my entire team.
True.
And force him to be a facilitator than take a player who can control a game like crazy. Because, bro, even if Drew guards him, it's probably going to be like 23 points on 43% from the field and like 8 assists, 4 rebounds, and like each of the games are going to be close. Like, Drew Holiday at a certain point cannot stop Chris Paul. You can't. Like, if you're the smartest player on the floor, regardless of what the defense is what defense is thrown at you, you're going to maneuver. And that's what Chris Paul is. Chris Paul is just, hey, you know what? These are the players that need to step up. And role players are stepping up. DeAndre Ayton, DeAndre Ayton, boom, he's becoming a baby Shaq or Hakeem or whatever we want to call him. He's becoming a baby miniature version of it, protecting the paint, scoring inside, getting that mid-post game, the mid-range game, pick and pop, pick and rolls, all efficient. Why? Chris Paul got that.
So sorry to cut you off, Perry, but a comparison that I think is the closest for DeAndre Ayton, I think is more of a Rasheed Wallace. I think
I agree with that.
I think Rasheed Wallace is the closest because Rasheed Wallace dominates the glass. He gives you a little midi. He can take you in the post, and he's just such an aggressive offensive rebounder. But at the same time, I agree with Perry when he says, if I'm the Bucks, I'm saying Devin Booker, you want to go off. You have 60, 70 points. I'll live with that. I just don't want Chris Paul to control the tempo. I think Drew Holiday is the best on-ball defender at the point guard position that we have in this league. I think he does a fantastic job, and I think he can really disrupt the Suns. Now, it's a question of, do you want Chris Middleton to guard Devin Booker? And what are you going to get from Brook Lopez? Also, I just want to mention that Pat Connaughton sucks at basketball. He really sucks at basketball. I think not having Dante DiVincenzo.
My fault. I was just gonna say, if I'm the Bucks, I'm just thinking about it. I would put Chris Middleton on Chris Paul, and then I would put Drew Holiday on Devin Booker.
I would personally flip that. So I would put Drew on Chris Paul, and I would put Chris Middleton on Devin Booker, just to add some length for Devin Booker. And Drew Holiday's long enough to guard Chris Paul and more than good enough to guard Chris Paul. But me, I think the Bucks are winning this in 7. Dependent on Giannis's health, on how his knee is doing. I have the Bucks in 7, just simply because I just believe that the Bucks have a better roster. I believe that they're the better team defensively, and the Suns are a very young team. Not to say the Bucks aren't young, but the Bucks have seasoned veterans in PJ Tucker, who've been multiple playoff battles. Chris Middleton, multiple playoff battles. Although the Suns are playing wise beyond their years, and Chris Paul is doing a hell of a job, Monty Williams as well. I just feel that the Bucks will eventually, they'll overcome the Suns. I also don't want Chris Paul to be happy.
No, I can see that. And like I was having this conversation with some of my coworkers, and one of them brought up the point, and it's kind of basically on par with what you said, Jalen. It comes down to Giannis for the Bucks. If Giannis is
Mhm.
healthy and playing significant minutes, that is a problem for the Phoenix Suns. But if he's not, like you said, Perry, Chris Paul's IQ will beat out their athleticism.
The reason why I feel like this is a very good matchup is that I trust DeAndre Ayton to guard Giannis. You know what I'm saying? Mobility wise, he can give him like the length to kind of contend him, like at the rim. It's not like he's going to get bullied all game. And now the only advantage Giannis would be able to have is a perimeter shot. Giannis doesn't excel with a 3-point shot. So now you're
Mhm.
getting Giannis to go full speed into someone who has a matching athleticism and maybe a little more strength that's going to contend him at the rim. I think that's what will be a big determining factor. But I don't think that's going to decide anything because I don't see Giannis being able to dominate DeAndre Hunter, De'Aaron, DeAndre DeAndre Ayton. My fault.
DeAndre Ayton.
I don't see him dominating DeAndre Ayton
Too
for
many
7 games.
DeAndres.
I don't see him dominating him for 7 games. Do you guys see that?
So what do you consider domination?
Like,
Like numbers? Because to me, Giannis gets 20 and 10 every single game.
yeah, but 20 and 10 is not going to win the Bucks the game. Like that's not like okay, Giannis is going to bring them over the edge. Like 30 and like 15 is
Okay.
dominating. You know what I'm saying? I
Okay.
don't see him I don't
Mhm.
see him going off for like 30 and 15, and even if he does go off for 30 and 15, I don't think the field goal percentage is going to be favorable to the Bucks. I think if Giannis is averaging 30, the series is not going to be it's not going to be a series where the Bucks can really trample them. I think for the Bucks to trample the Suns, it would be Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday that would have to have big
Mhm.
games because then your
I think
time.
Chris Middleton especially, and
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Chris Middleton. Sorry to cut you off. I feel like Chris Middleton is the player that mans are forgetting about. Jalen, you even said it yourself the other day. You're like, yo, like I take back any bad things I said about Chris Middleton. Like the man is balling at another level, and yo, I'm not saying that I agree with this, but I've been seeing some things that are like saying that Chris Middleton is the Batman and Giannis is the Robin.
I think
Yeah,
they're both
like
Robins. They're both
no,
really good Robins.
I don't think so. I think Chris Middle. So basically, I think a Batman is someone who saves the day. Like that's essentially what a Batman is. Can we agree on that? Can we come to a consensus?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
now I'm
Yeah.
saying if my day was in great danger, I need to put like and I needed a two, I need to put the ball in my most skilled scorer's hands. Right? Like if I
Hmm.
had like a short amount of time and I need a quick bucket, you give it to your best scorer. I think that's either Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton. But now, who do I need consistent big points from? It's not Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday can have an off game, but Chris Middleton cannot. Giannis can have an off game, but Chris Middleton cannot. Typically, when Chris Middleton has a bad game, it's either a hard fought victory for the Bucks or it's an L. But it's never
Hmm.
they've never coasted without Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton also gives you versatility on the defensive end. He's 6'8". He's long with like a little 7-foot wingspan. He can contend shots at the rim. He can guard perimeters decently well. He can protect the rim and post presence, especially in today's modern NBA where post players are 6'8", 6 to 6'11".
Hmm.
I think if you look at Giannis, he's limited in what he can give you at the end of the day. It's like that one girlfriend who does everything you need her to do. When like you guys great relationship and everything, but it just doesn't work out. The reason why it doesn't work out is that there's one thing missing. What's missing with Giannis? A jumper.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
that reason alone, in today's NBA, Giannis cannot be a Superman on a team. But Giannis can be perceived as a Superman. Giannis can dominate a game. He can have 30 and 20, but it's not convincing that he's going to win that game.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
I agree.
So with that person who said what he said, tell him Papa Black stamps that. Wow.
And then okay, so
Like, what did we learn from this for real? For real? Like, from this playoffs, like, what's one thing you can take away and be like, yo, this is like, this is the NBA, I guess, or like, wow, this is the season.
There is not really much you can take away from this playoffs. I think there's so too many injuries, too many. Bro, it was a lot. Kyrie going down really changed the landscape. To be honest, was it Kyrie going down? Yeah, Kyrie went out. Kyrie going down really changed the landscape for me.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I fully agree. I think LeBron made a comment that the NBA was rushing their schedule or whatever, and
Hmm.
players weren't getting enough time to recover. Especially
Hmm.
with like the shortened season, and they only reduced their games by 10, but like the season started, I guess like somewhat close to,
In
you
December,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So from December to like June, sorry, from December to May, they were literally just playing NBA games. Plus, they had an All Star game, and all of that. So the load on I guess the athlete is extraneous. But I would have wished to see a more healthy playoff situation.
Yeah.
Um, I would have rather seen Anthony Davis healthy and LeBron healthy
Mm-hmm.
go up against a fully loaded Phoenix Sun squad, because I feel like
Mm.
that would have been the most immaculate chess match. But my last question is like, when you see a team that had so much hype behind them, you know what I'm saying? Because like I was sitting down, and I was thinking about it. I was like, bro, what's going on with Miami? Like I see a team that made it so deep in the playoffs or that has such high expectations get booted, it's like, what does that mean for the teams? Like, where do they go? You know
Yo,
what I'm
I
saying? Like, you're
and
not my fault.
I'll
You're
take
not
it
bad
even.
enough. Sorry, you're not bad enough to get like a high draft pick, but you're not good enough to compete with those high teams. Or do you feel like that's the case right now? What are your
No,
thoughts on
well,
these exits?
I'll take it further and like add in Portland because that was very disappointing. I'm sorry. A Jamal Murray-less Nuggets team should not be beating the Portland Trailblazers when they went out and acquired a guy like Norman Powell for playoffs. You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
and then yeah, for like a team like Miami, who was just the runner-up the year before to like completely shit the bed, but they've been like dealing with stuff all season long, but to not even like
But
squeak
everybody is.
by, you know? Um I I don't know. I think because my real question there is what do these teams do now? You know what I mean? I